are watching Friday Night Heights from Lexington, Kentucky. It's a top 15 matchup in the SEC. The 5th-ranked Arkansas Gym-Backs and the 15th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. Arkansas is coming off its first ever win on the road at Georgia. Kentucky is coming off its best score of the season, but a loss against Alabama. She is Leah Little, Joel Godet. Glad to have you along with us. And Leah, it just magnifies how important the minutia is at this point in the season. Best score for Kentucky, but they've dropped to 15th in the rankings.
We are at that critical part now. Hopefully all the teams have worked the kinks out of their routines, and we're getting towards championship season. So right now it's about perfection, eliminating small errors. You know, these teams at the top are scoring 9-8, 9-9s on every routine. They just have to clean it up, polish it up, and hit those landings.
Kentucky, its last time out, put up a 196.775. Excuse me, a 194. Alabama had the 775. Its vault lineup today comes in ranked 11th in the country. Bailey Bunn, the freshman all-arounder, will lead things off. A couple of freshmen actually at the top of the lineup. Bella Magnelli out of Suffern, New York will go 1-2 with Bailey Bunn. You'll see Callie Nixon vaulting in the anchor spot. That is a change. Josie Angeny has moved to 4th.
Right. Callie kind of likes where she was in that comfortable spot at the 4 spot, but Coach Garrison said it was time to move her on up because she's won the vault in every meet this year, so time to be a champ.
And almost said that a score like hers could be hurtful to the team if it's too early in the lineup because her vault is so good and everybody else gets judged off of that.
And you can look at that 2 ways. I know I experimented with that when I was coaching, is that sometimes it can push the scores of the people behind them. So, you know, it's 2 ways of looking at it. But Kentucky's a very good vaulting team, and hopefully they will start off strong in this event and keep it going. Arkansas is a great team on the bar, so this is going to be a barn burner tonight.
You saw the gym rules, 6 up, 5 counts in collegiate women's gymnastics, so you will drop 1 score between these teams. We will get our first vaults for the Wildcats in about 10 seconds time.
Yeah, you're going to see Bailey Bunn up first for Kentucky. She has worked her way into the all-around lineup, something that was a goal of hers early in the season, and she is very excited about that. So she'll be up first for the Cats.
She'll perform a Yurchenko full. Was so funny. Tim Garrison said, wanted to work all around. If he took her out, she'd slash his tires. That's how dedicated she is.
I tell you, they were high on her from the beginning and said, you know, she would be one to watch, and it's happened way earlier than they expected to get her into the all-around. So she has met expectations and will continue to improve.
This is Bailey Bunn's 5th collegiate meet, her 3rd time competing all around.
This is a 9-9 start value for the Yurchenko full. Well, you can't get much better than that. That's a way to start off. This is what we were talking about. Execution, landings, polish. Legs are together. Beautiful position in the air and a stick. Way to start out for the Cats. That was great.
Well, her high is a 9.85.
Well, she's going to do better than that,
I was going to say, that might rival that. As we head over to Bailey Lovett, the redshirt sophomore out of North Carolina, to lead things off on bars. She has previously had Tommy John surgery on her left elbow for a torn UCL, often seen in baseball pitchers. That's what that giant brace is for.
You know, good positions you see. Again, these are things we discussed before. Legs together, squeeze, you don't want to see any space in there, toes pointed, full extension in the handstand, and another stuck dismount. We're on the roll tonight, Joel.
Phenomenal double top.
First 2 kids up have set the pace with the rest of the teams, and I said it's going to be a barn burner.
Take a look at Isabella Magnelli for the 2nd vault for Kentucky. Leah, the things you are looking for most here, if you're a judge, are what?
Well, one thing you really want to see is the vault rise from the table. We call that amplitude, so the more up in the air the athlete is, the better their score. Body position, they must maintain their shape throughout the vault, and of course the all-important landing.
You mentioned a Yurchenko full not being a full 10-0 start value. It is very common vault performed. It was devalued from a 10-0 6 years ago. We will see, or we expect to see, a handspring front pike 1.5, excuse me, a handspring front pike half from Isabella Magnelli.
That's a mouthful, yeah.
That is a 10-0 start.
We just call her Bella. We just call her Bella. But yes, 10-0 start for her front pike half. And hopefully we can keep this going for the Cats. Bailey started off strong for Kentucky. And Arkansas had a strong start on the bar. So on this front pike half, what you want to watch for as she does the front, again, for the vault to rise off the table and her body position be clean before you make the turn.
All right, we are tied through one routine here, Leah. 9-8-5 from each gymnast on their opening apparatus.
Perfect.
Bailey Button, that tied the career high. She didn't best.
There you go. You know, that's only a 10th the judges took off, so like I said, we're down to these little bitty deductions. All right, little problem with the landing there. That hop back's going to cost her a rather large deduction.
It almost looks like she didn't get a great block off the table and saved this in the air.
Yeah, if you look at that, when she hit the table, her shoulders and elbows were a little bit bent, what I would call saggy in the shoulders. It's really hard to block off once you're in that position, and she had a little difficulty making the turn.
Now Chiara Giafania, sophomore out of Brownsburg, Indiana, just outside the state's capital.
Okay, what we're looking for on bars, of course, there are requirements. They must have the release move, the transition from high bar to low bar, dismount C or better, and of course body shape and position. Nice stuck dismount.
Are we 4 for 4 on sticks?
I believe we are. No, 3 for 4.
3 for 4 on sticks.
Nice full in dismount. We'll see this again. Above the bar and the stick. Very nice.
Now Ariana Patterson, the junior out of Texas, another 10-0 start value vault. This is a front half pike.
Same thing we talked about on Bella. One thing you will see with Ariana, if she's on her game, she will actually get some height off the horse, off the vault table, and lots of amplitude. So watch for the block off the table, height, beautiful body position. Just had the chest down on the landing, which really was difficult for her to stick that with her chest down. So watch again, the block, the turn, and then chest down to cause that landing problem.
Followed the 9-8-5 and a 9-8 from Magnelli.
A little coaching there from Coach Chuck Dickerson, assistant coach at Kentucky. He's been here quite a while.
And I stand corrected. We said that Bailey Lovett had a 9-8-5. That's what they put up initially in the arena. 9-7-7-5 is what it reads now.
Not sure what they did there, Joel.
Probably a video board error.
It was a good ball.
This is Jensen Scalzo now, the freshman. She's from American Twisters down in Parkland, Florida, one of the really fine clubs down in southern Florida. And they do a really good job working with their gymnasts so that they have a lot of extra legs still in them when they get to the collegiate level. Handful of club teammates.
With her experience in the gymnastics world, I'm sure she knows how to train these young ladies.
Oh, absolutely.
They look great. You know, one thing I really noticed in watching the Arkansas team is their execution. And again, I'm sure that comes from Coach Weaver. But body shape, execution is all very, very nice. Look at those legs, how tight they are. Above the bar. Oh, there's a miss. She didn't quite ride that up far enough before the release. Now, if you watch, she didn't let go just a little early. Now, for the fans, with a fall like that, the athlete is allowed a little time to regroup, fix your grips, get a little more chalk, and put your mind together before you have to mount. So you don't have to mount the bar immediately after a major fall like that.
Yeah, 45 seconds to regroup here. You can choose to repeat the skill if you so choose. Oftentimes you'll see gymnasts just continue with their routine.
So she repeated the element. made at that time. You want to look for these handstand positions. That's perfect. Blind full to the double tuck dismount. Little wobbly in the knees there, but
Saturday on SEC Network, our full day of college hoops is highlighted by this matchup. Number 11, Alabama has a 3.5-game lead in conference standings, looking for their first regular season title since 2002. They'll host Georgia at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, and available streaming on the ESPN app. And Josie Angeny just a little under-rotated.
correct. She has it's a 10-0 start value vault, so a little more difficult. Beautiful position in the air, just a little bit lean back, cost her the balance error.
You know, she takes those things personally, though. She had been the anchor to start the season for Kentucky on vault, fell last week. Tim Garrison slid her back a little bit, and she takes that to heart. She's going to work at it at the gym every time, so that will be a better score than her 9.225 a week ago.
Right.
But you know she's going to get to it in the practice gym.
Well, last week she was supposed to throw the 4.5 and got a little weird in the air and decided for safety not to throw it, which is the best thing to do when it feels off. So glad she threw the 1.5 this week and get a little experience under her belt.
This is Sarah Schaefer, the senior all-arounder, 47th nationally in the all-around. Former SEC Freshman of the Year, has certainly lived up to the expectations and the bar that she set for herself.
Yes, and again, I'll point out execution. She is one of the Arkansas team members that I just love watching her. She's full extension. Execution is beautiful. For the young gymnast watching, you know, these long lines and beautiful handstands, things you want to look for on bars.
9.125 will be Scalzo's score, so Arkansas will look to drop that as you see Angeny pop up with a 9.85 on that 10-0 start value vault.
That was a great score, great vault, just a little bit on the landing.
Now the job for Schaefer is to get your team back on track. You've had one fall. It's that next routine to right the ship.
Well, what it does, you can see a little bit on her face. Once you have a teammate fall, then the pressure is on everyone else that follows because they know you're going to throw that score and they have to have your score. So it definitely puts more pressure on the other team.
And that's different than club gymnastics because you don't have that team pressure. It's part of the fun, as weird as that seems, of collegiate gymnastics.
Well, you know, your teammates are depending on you. When you're in club, you just compete for yourself, and if you're having a bad day and you fall, you don't hurt anybody but yourself. But when you're doing team, you know, especially both of these two teams here have great chemistry. I've watched them both. They're happy. I think everybody after COVID is so excited to get back to competition. It's been a rough year for everybody, and I think they're all just happy to be here and competing again.
First thing you'll notice is Sarah Schaefer mounts the bars here. Leah, she is 5'9", and her lines will really be on display on this apparatus.
Beautiful handstand. Beautiful handstand. The release move, the bar transition change.
Her high is a 9.9, just the dismount here.
The double layout. Very nice. Just a little bit of pike in the body position, but very nice routine. Again, look at the position in the handstand. Perfectly straight body. And again, toe on release move.
As you see her head coach, the Olympic champion Jordan Weaver, talking with her. Here's Raina Warman.
All right. 4.5 for her. The 10-0 start value on that vault. Again, more difficult, but a little difficulty in the landing there that's going to cost her. So didn't quite get that push off the horse because her elbows were bent and she had left her head back on the turn.
You could see actually Tim Garrison react as she got the push off the horse. He knew it in real time. But he's excited. It's upgrades in the vault lineup for Kentucky. A lot of gymnasts in this lineup pushing the envelope a little bit.
Absolutely. We have 4 10-0 starts for the Wildcats, and That's a great thing. Like you say, upgrades at this point in the season, that's what you push for. Adding things into your routine that you've been training all year long, and I'm sure it's exciting for these kids to get some new difficulty in there.
You mentioned a little bit of the pike landing. Slight step on the landing for Sarah Schaefer. It cost her a career high, 9.875. She will take it tonight.
And you know, when you have a 10-0 start value, the judges are a little more lenient in scoring because of the difficulty of the vault. It's kind of like diving. You know, you do a higher difficulty, and the judges say, well, that was a lot harder, so I might not be as judgmental.
This is the All-American Kennedy Hambrick. She is 31st in the all-around this year. Ended last season when COVID cut it short, 16th in the all-around.
She again is another beautiful gymnast to watch. Her body lines are just picture perfect. Pike Jaeger there, overshoot.
The way she held that midair, slow motion.
Dismount.
Phenomenal.
Now, fans, you notice the mask stick that the Razorbacks have? Well, they have to take their masks off during the routine, but as soon as they get off, you see them there with the mask stick, handing them the mask back. Quite a fun thing.
Well, you don't want to touch anybody else's mask, right?
Well, I don't think a lot of people. Let's watch Callie here. Well, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful vault for Callie Nixon.
That's why she's the anchor.
That's air traffic control right there. So you want to see a block. Boom, up in the air. Beautiful body position, stuck landing. And there you go. She did better in that anchor spot, right?
She is the undefeated, undisputed vault champion this season for Kentucky, 4 titles. And she had to be convinced to go to the anchor spot. She liked being where she was in the lineup, and there is some mental games to that. They're unaffected by it today.
There definitely is. And you know, when you're last up, you know, everybody's watching you and expecting you to hit that big time routine or vault, and she came through tonight for the Cats.
Maggie O'Hara is in the anchor spot for Arkansas on the bars. She's a grad transfer from Michigan, spent 4 years, 3 of them actively with Bev Plotke.
You know, Weber was talking about this, Coach was, about being a transfer, and you know, to come into a new environment with new teammates, new coaching techniques, it's really difficult. And she said she has just blossomed this year, and good for her.
It's hard to come in and be assertive and be a leader in a new lineup, especially in a COVID era, but the team has bought into her, she has bought into the team. And look at this routine so far.
It's all about chemistry. Again, beautiful body lines.
Handstands are awesome.
All the gym dogs just have, now that is a beautiful double leg. Little tiny step on the landing. There's that mask stick. But, you know, we were talking earlier, all of their bar execution is just a beautiful thing. Beautiful double layout. If you notice, she maintained position all the way through till right before the landing. A little bit of pike down, but beautiful double layout.
Her best is a 9.95 on bars. That was against LSU. As we take a look at our exhibitions now, this is Ashley LeClaire saluting here at Kentucky as a sophomore.
That was a nice ball. Just a little hop on the landing. Chest up will fix that. So I think that's a potential vault for the Cats in the lineup.
It's hard to crack the lineup we just saw, though. And remember, Kentucky came in 11th nationally on vault, trying to help themselves out here, lift their rankings. Callie Nixon put forward a 9.85 in that anchor spot.
Kentucky is a good vaulting team. What's hurt them so far this year is their landings, and they look really good tonight on vault.
Hambrick with a 9.9. They have not posted Maggie O'Hara's score yet. This is Jillian Rooks, though, in the exhibition spot, a freshman. A little bit of her homecoming. She competes in the Southeastern Conference, so it's hard to get a homecoming, but she is from Ohio. This is as close as you will get.
Well, maybe she has a fan club here. So.
There's a huge contingent, by the way, of Big
lot
Zooey
of
cheering Arkansas fans right behind us.
Well, you know, it's so important for you to have a fan base and a fan base that travels with you. I know our kids would just light up when the fans would walk into the arena. And it's just, they love it. Look at those.
Where do I get myself some of those suspenders?
I'd say, is that the Indiana basketball team?
I was going to
there?
say, I might have a use for those when I go back home tonight.
Look at that.
Fans are socially distanced throughout the arena as well. It's tough to tell based on the views, but there are large gaps between twosomes and threesomes.
Right. You know, we mentioned earlier about the COVID thing with the kids, and I don't think people really realize athletes in all sports and what they've had to go through. You know, their travel is different. They can't sit together when they travel on a bus or a plane. They can't have social get-togethers like they used to, team meetings. They have to do everything by Zoom. They have to wear a mask during practice. Can you imagine doing gymnastics with a mask?
Well, from a safety standpoint, like it takes your field of view away a little bit below. So that's why you imagine the gymnasts are able to compete without them. Right. There are several sports that are competing right now with masks on.
Now they have allowed them to do their routines without, but as soon as they get off the apparatus, they have to put their mask immediately back on. Condition with it, warm up with it. So these kids they're tough to have gotten through this.
This conference is interesting. We told you a 9-9 for Kennedy Hambrick. They had again posted it in the arena as a 9-9. It has now been changed in arena to a 9-8-2-5. And the judges are now discussing. That's interesting. That's twice now they've posted scores, and we've had conferences and scores drop for Arkansas.
The coaches could do inquiries, or the judges, if they're off, you know, within a certain point range,
start
they have
values
the conference.
Sometimes.
Yes. And you know, it's one of those things where one judge can award a combination and the other judge saw it differently. So when they have to have requirements, it can really lower the score if the judge didn't give them the connection or the bonus.
So Jillian taking a second here to really think about the fact that she's going to go up in this exhibition spot.
One thing I'll say about her, she's laughing, she's talking to her coach, she's staying calm. Some girls they're so ready to go that when they don't go, then they get all tight up, and this is coach keeping her calm, and she's dancing and staying cool. It is very difficult. I've seen some of these conferences go on for 5 minutes or so, and it's tough on the kids when they're mentally ready, and then it's like stand down, stand down. So I think she's ready.
Bars is her specialty. Again, she's a freshman. She competed at the JO Nationals in 2018. Came in 6th. And of course, the way JOs work, if you're unfamiliar with the club level, is that each region of the country, and it's divided into several, you have to qualify based out of your region, based out of your state. It is a fairly select few.
But one thing that the NCAA did years ago is they would have those judges at those regionals from the region. And then they were smart enough to realize that things are scored differently in different parts of the country.
Oh, yeah.
So they started traveling the judges, which really improved the quality and the consistency of the competition at that point. So that's been a great thing.
Jillian is a Region 5 gymnast from Ohio as she hops up on the apparatus.
Nice handstand. Tkachev. Coach is ready. Clear hip for the transition. She made it. Pirouette to the double tuck. Nice routine.
It's a good spot for an exhibition. The 4.8475, though, is certainly below where Jordan Weaver would have hoped on the opening event. Bars in the books. The 4.925 for Kentucky on vault. That equals a season high for Tim Garrison. The Wildcats in good possession as we flip, coming back for rotation 2.
Hi, Bailey. One thing I'm sure was part of your recruiting interest in Kentucky is the Southeastern Conference and how strong it is. And, you being a freshman coming into this role now as being one of the top 3 competitors and in the all-around. So what has that meant to you to break into the all-around and be into the tough conference like the SEC as a freshman?
Yeah. My dream has always been to do college gymnastics, and I grew up in a very small town. I was the only level 10 gymnast, so I never really had a team to compete with. But I always came to college, not just to be on a college gymnastics team, but I wanted to be the best that I could be, and I wanted to keep growing and continue to learn new things. And that's what the coaching staff has really done for me. They've continued to help me grow and help me learn new things, and it has really made me thrive in college.
That leadoff position to me is the most important position because that athlete sets the tone for that event. And so the coaching staff has enough faith in you to put you in that position on 2, maybe 3 events. So tell me what you do being first up that, get in that mindset and know that you have to be the set the tone for the event.
Yeah, it's meant so much to me that the coaches believe in me and want to put me out there and know that I'm going to hit when I go out there, because they're always like, you're so consistent. Like, we're putting you first. You're going first. And I'm like, okay, like whatever you guys want me to do, that's what I'm going to do. And so during warm up, I kind of just stay focused and do my thing. And then when it's my turn, I just take a deep breath and I just go for it, just because, me and the team have worked so hard for this. Like during the week, we work so hard, and Friday night is kind of the fun that we get to have. We get to show everyone like how hard we've worked and how much we love gymnastics. And so that's been a huge thing for me, just like showing everyone how much I love the sport and showing them that I really do love to compete.
Bailey Bunn with a 9.85 on the vault to help lead Kentucky to its best vault score of the season. The Wildcats lead by almost 0.8 of a point. Second rotation next. Rotation 2 here in Lexington. You're looking at probably the best gymnast in the venue tonight, 2012 Olympic champion Jordan Weber. The question is whether or not the head coach from Arkansas is still the best gymnast in the building. At her introductory press conference, Leah, one of the reporters asked her, hey, could you still demonstrate, because she was 23 when she was hired, things you want to show your gymnasts? And she laughed and said, no, probably not.
Oh, I bet she can, honestly.
She was being modest.
Right. She is a very decorated young lady as a gymnast and has the utmost respect from her team. 2-time USA champion, a world champion, Olympic gold medalist. I'm sure they listen to her when she gives them advice.
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. It's been one of the reasons Arkansas has gotten out to a number 5 rankings to start things. Savannah Penisi opens up on their vault lineup.
Yurchenko full again. Nice position. Little chest down there on the landing.
She had started the season great, back-to-back 9.8s, slipped to a 9.675 last week, but nice recovery as Bailey Bunn, you just spoke to, leads off on bars.
Yeah, she likes this position, the leadoff position. She does in 3 events for the Cats. Doesn't seem to get pressured up, and that's the person you want first in your lineup. Sitting up for a dismount. Hope to see a double layout here. Stuck dismount. If you watch this on the replay, those of you that are looking to do or watch the double layout, actually, we're not there yet. Okay.
Take a look now at Abby Johnston, the transfer. We talked about Maggie O'Hara transferring from Michigan as a grad student. Abby Johnston transferring from Nebraska.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting there. We have the longtime coach from Nebraska, 25-year coach Dan Kindig in the building, who used to be the Kentucky assistant coach, who was also Tim Garrison's was his assistant coach at Nebraska, and some of his athletes are in the building. So a little history there.
Kevin Bacon works in somewhere.
Okay. Stuck vault there. We'll point out a few things here when we watch the replay. All right, we talked about the lift off the table. It was decent. I'd like to see a little more rise there and a little cleaner body position, but overall a very nice vault. She should be happy with that. She's like, okay, I can breathe now.
Moment of zen. First time we see Haley Davis now. Another freshman. So Tim Garrison, he's got a veteran team and an experienced team, but he puts the trust in his youth to lead off the first two apparatuses. Bailey Bunn in the leadoff chair twice. She'll do it 3 times tonight. It was Magnelli on vault, and now it's Davis on bars.
They've got a very deep team this year. Some of them are very young, and they need the SEC competitive experience, but they will grow and blossom just like Bailey has done. So he's got some upperclassmen leading the way, which is the most important thing you can have. And then some good freshmen that have come in and filled in the gaps. You know, they lost the 11-time All-American and Molly Korth, and that's a big hole to fill.
Continued issues just on getting the judging straightened away on bars on both sides, but now Davis gets to go.
Full pirouette. Jaeger. Stella Jaeger. On the release requirements, the transitional bar change.
Wanted to see another double layout. Here's a big one coming from Davis.
Little Archie there in the handstand. Building up momentum. Nice body position. Now we were just going to talk about that earlier. Just the body position on the double layout was just almost perfect in my opinion on that. A little short of the handstand. Well, let's watch this body position. She maintains that shape throughout the entire dismount, and that's what you want to see in the double A. Coach Garrison just had a moment with that.
Here's Jordan Olszewski.
All right, we'll point out another thing when we watch the replay on this vault, on her landing. You know, one of the things we talked about was height. The other thing the judges look for is distance away from the table. So if you see, she was way away from the table. So the judges are going to be happy with that, and I think so is she.
And she landed a little bit piked last week against Georgia. This time does a better job of getting full rotation and landing more straight.
Right. Just get that chest up a little.
Arkansas looking for a better vault rotation. Although, you know what? We put up a 4.8 as the score going to break for Arkansas. Their bar scores have been screwy. They now have a 4.9375.
I don't know what's going on with the judging there.
That would tie their season high. So that went from an okay start on their bar rotation to like a, yeah, let's go do bars.
I believe Callie is up next. And, you know, one thing we talked about watching or calling air traffic control for her vaults, well, she's kind of the same way on her release moves on bars. One thing you really want to see on the better competitors is when they do their release moves that they're above the bar. Same thing with their dismount. Beautiful. Transition the bars with the overshoot. Now watch her above the bar on the dismount. Watch the bar, watch her body. Wow.
And she sticks it.
That's a wow.
E-level tuck full dismount for Callie Nixon, and it was fantastic.
Fantastic. Again, watch the amplitude. I mean, she's up there in the rafters. We got to call her down. That was a great routine for Callie Nixon.
Still trying to figure out the bar scores here as we go through it. For Arkansas, by the way, we mentioned the issue with Kennedy Hambrick. They have now re-awarded her a 9.9 after dropping it. Okay.
Yeah, we're a little...
Here's Sarah Schaefer, by the way. She's really good in all-around.
She is.
Blind landing on the Yurchenko half there and just a little under-rotated on it.
And you know, this is a really hard, anytime you have a skill that is a blind landing, that's very difficult. She took a little step back. Will cost her about a 10th, but that's a difficult landing.
Yeah, how difficult is that air awareness? We'll get to that in just a second. First, we have more Friday Night Heights for you coming up. One more meet. We'll take you to Columbia for 19th ranked Auburn and Missouri. That is coming up next. Leah, they call it the air awareness, though. When you're trying to find the floor on a blind landing, what do you look to? Is there a cue you're trying to pick out of the air?
Sometimes it's really a kinesthetic awareness, not to get over people's head, but you know, lots of repetition, like you say, learning to know where you are, doing it padded up so you kind of know where to find your landing. And some people do teach looking for things just like you would do if you were upright doing a turn. So we have Raina Worley here.
She's ranked 32nd nationally in this apparatus.
Raina has nice body lines as well. Release move. She has 2 high difficulty release moves in her routine, the Tkachev and the Pak Salto. Winding up for this dismount, full in. I think the Cats are on fire on bars tonight. You know, we talked earlier about the little things were going to make the difference tonight, and so far I'm seeing really nice execution. That's a Tkachev there. Here comes the dismount. Beautiful full in above the bar and a stick.
What did Tim Garrison tell us the first couple meets of the season? The landings were all stuck. Then last time out, 2 weeks ago, here's the vault from Elsewhere.
That was very nice. Just that hop back, it's going to cost her a big deduction. Got to get the mask.
13th in the country on that apparatus, although that one may be the one that that Arkansas looks to drop with the step back.
She just had her feet under a little bit. A little hop back, but you know, like we said, there's a perfect example when you get to this level, a 2/10 hop back.
Huge.
You know, Coach Garrison and I talked this week, you know, a 10th on every score across 4 events costs you 2 points.
And
you think a 10th is...
Oh, it's huge by the end of it. And that's where we said, Tim Garrison said the first 2 weeks they were sticking landings. Last time out against Alabama, everything else started to come together, and he said, hey, we forgot to land. It looks like tonight Kentucky has put those 2 pieces together.
That's the big improvement I see with the Kentucky team tonight is their landings and execution.
Bailey Bunn, a 9.85, 9.775 from Haley Davis. We still await the posting of Callie Nixon's score and Raina Worley. This will be the first time we see Shaylin Muksik, a sophomore from Pittsburgh. Bars is her specialty. She has learned a ray as a dismount maneuver.
The ray is a Toan Tkachev move. Very difficult. Like there you just saw it, and that was absolutely flawless.
A little overcooked on that handstand, but good save.
Leg separation there. Again, we talked about got to squeeze those legs. I don't want to see any space or air between the legs. Another double layout. Not quite the shape I would like to see in the double layout, but nonetheless, it was a good dismount. A small deduction. There's the ray, the Toan Tkachev.
She's got enough chalk on too that she kind of painted her form as she went. Kennedy handbrake after the 9.9 on bars. Here she is on vault. This is a 10.0, 1.5.
There you go. Now, I'll point something out here. Judge's opinion, could be a stick, could not be, but you have to show that you can maintain the balance. So she sticks it, but yet she still has forward momentum. So she tries to hide that with a salute to the judge. Now, they may take it, they may not. You know, it's you see where she just doesn't quite have control. I don't think they're going to take it.
Now, I was going to say, when you slow it down, it looks like she walked forward. Right. In real time, it looked like a stick, and that's what the judges are working with.
Well, the actual stick, you know, there can't really show body movement. Forward, backward, leaning over, taking a step. It has to be control of your body.
And there is some skill into selling that, the way that she walked it into the salute, is there not?
Absolutely. There was a team a few years ago, I won't mention names, that was masters at jumping to the salute immediately, and you never could tell if they landed or not. But that was brilliant coaching.
Josie Anthony now one of her 2 anchor jobs tonight. She will also anchor B.
It's a giant blind. Jaeger.
Get ready for her dismount here. It's a double layout with a full twist. It is awesome. Not just the double layout, she's stunning.
Just the double layout. Nice routine. Talk about maintaining the shape. And she did all the way throughout. Slight pike down. I don't think they'll take it, but a nice shape on the double layout. So the Wildcats looking good on the bars tonight. Arkansas looking good on the vault.
This is Madison Hickey from DeKalb, Illinois, the sophomore in exhibition.
Now, you know, the things we started talking about when we began the show was just the little things. Because both of these teams are very close in their abilities. And just a 10th here, a 10th there is going to be the difference in this meet.
They gave Hambrick a 9.925 in the anchor spot for Arkansas, a 49.275. That is a season high for the 12th ranked vaulting team in the country. So Arkansas, tremendous after a 4.9375 on bars. That is also a season high for a 98.65 through 2 rotations. Have yourself a night, Jordan Weber.
We said we were going to see 2 excellent SEC teams here tonight.
This is Mackenzie Harmon.
You know, it's a great time for the coaches to see if an athlete's ready for the lineup. You know, in practice, they have these duels about who's going to take a spot from somebody, and putting them in competition is really helpful because sometimes they look great in practice and get in front of a crowd and they don't do well, and sometimes they do fantastic.
Tell you what, Kentucky, queens of the double layout dismount, and it's not easy. It just looks beautiful. They do it masterfully. Rotation 3 is coming up. Arkansas and Kentucky here on a Friday night. It is Friday Night Heights in the SEC from Memorial Coliseum. Razorbacks, the Gymbacks, led by Jordan Weber, also led by a tremendous upper class.
Absolutely. Sarah Schaefer and Kennedy Hambrick are leading this team. All-Americans, All-SEC. They are doing great this year and leading this Arkansas team. They started out 15th in the country, have risen all the way to number 5. This is Schaefer.
Sarah Schaefer, one of the first gymnasts to ever meet Jordan Weber when she was hired. They flew her out to Los Angeles, said, hey, you're going to go meet your coach. That is a nice surprise. First floor title of the season for Hambrick last year in the win over Georgia. The first time ever that Arkansas went on the road and won at Georgia in the matchup of the 2 head coaches with Olympic pedigrees. Of course, Courtney Kupets-Carter with the Gym Dogs. On the flip side, for Kentucky, it is a little bit of a youth movement in the all-around with Bailey Bunn, but Raina Worley, she's not going to be pushed aside.
Hey, you got Raina Worley and Josie Angeny, who are the leaders on this Kentucky team. They're upperclassmen as well. The dynamic duo has brought this Kentucky team this far this year. And as all the underclassmen say, they are the mentors, the leaders, the ones they look up to. So now we got Bailey Bunn in the all-around, who is just doing awesome.
Yeah, you've got 3 all-arounders. That just puts you so much at ease if you're Tim Garrison, because you know filling out your lineup, I've got 3 on every apparatus that I know I can trust and rely on.
Absolutely.
And make it easier going forward. All right, going forward, we still have 2 more rounds tonight, but look forward to next week. It only gets better. 15th ranked Kentucky, number 1 Florida, Missouri, and number 5 Arkansas. Friday Night Heights continues February 9th. I'm not a math major, but I think I've got this one, Leah. Through 2 rotations, Arkansas leads by a 1/10.5. We have had 4 apparatuses, vault and bars for each team, 4 season highs. It's incredible so far tonight, but it comes down to everyone's favorite event, the beam. We're going to the beam. Kentucky, it's got to figure out, it's 33rd in the country. If it stays on the apparatus tonight, can it stay in the hunt to knock off the Gymbacks.
Well, here's my prediction. Kentucky is not the 33rd team in the country. They just have not been able to hit. They did much better last week, had their best score of the season. I think they're going to start to put things together and do what they need to do. They're a much better beam team than they've competed. Hopefully this will be their breakout tonight.
Yeah, it's been a slow build for Tim Garrison's team on beam. They have gotten better each week. Finally cracked a 4.9 last week, or 2 weeks ago, the last time they competed, with a 4.9025. So you continue to hopefully build on that score going forward and just continue to get better. Here is Anna Hygis, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
She's another one that's been strong in the first off position. Has come through for the Cats the last couple weeks, so they feel pretty comfortable putting her up first.
Usually beam is known as a graceful event. Tim Garrison loves the fact that Anna approaches this with the aggressiveness she does floor.
Well, when I coach beam, that was one of the things that I just demanded, is that, you know, beam can't look like you're on a 4-inch piece of wood. It has to look like your floor routine. You have to work aggressive. You have to be poised and keep moving, and don't look like, I always said that you're on a tightrope over Niagara Falls. So these girls, definitely the better ones in the country, that's what they show.
As Shushanova dropped to the beam there for Hygis, landed the Acro series as well. This is what you want in your leadoff.
Absolutely, she's doing great right now. A lot of presence. You know, the full turn that she just did there, which is a requirement, you'd be amazed at how many people fall on that skill. I think it's where you kind of let down a little bit and say, oh, just the full turn, and then boom, you're off the beam.
Yeah, that's where you lose your focus.
Right. So cat leap to the front aerial, a little balance. Oh, save it, save it, save it. All right.
Yeah, the roar of the crowd for saving that.
Well, unfortunately, it's still going to be a big balance error, but it's not a fall, so.
And a step on the landing. Again, it sits up 5 counts, so that can be the score that Kentucky looks to drop and then build from here.
All right, let's watch again. You see the front aerial. You can see she's just off balance there, trying to save it. But she did.
And again, how perilous that is. That is a 4-inch beam, 4 feet off the ground to keep your footing. Here's Abby Johnston now on the floor. She only competed floor 4 times at Nebraska last season, but she is the leadoff in the floor for Arkansas. This is what Jordan Weber loves. She was the floor coach at UCLA.
Right, I want to tell you tonight you're going to see some outstanding floor routines from both of these teams. A lot of presence, a lot of exciting routines with great choreography, opening with a double tuck. They just enjoy what they're doing and they're performing. They're not just out there doing another event. So personalities coming forth.
This is the 3rd ranked floor team in the country.
So the
Second in the
Arkansas
SEC.
team likes to stand around the team and create their little bubble, coach says. Nice front pass.
So there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, if you're in an arena that has no fans, you can cheer yourselves on from around the floor and kind of create that feeling.
Exactly.
But as Jordan Weber said, in a COVID era, it is also creating a literal bubble, mimicking what the team does away from the gymnastics facility. They create that now in the facility at the floor exercise.
True. And when you're out there dancing and performing, you can look at your teammates instead of, you know, and smile at them instead of having fun, instead of getting so nervous.
Big double pike coming here that she absolutely nailed at Georgia.
There you go. Very great start for the Gymbacks.
Here is that pike again.
One thing you'll notice with the Arkansas team, they're starting and ending with D or E level passes, which bumps up their difficulty.
And that step is a really good example too. You're allowed a step on your landings and floor, but it has to be controlled. That's a picture perfect controlled step as we
you
go
must
back to
have
being
control before you make the step.
Right.
A lot of people do not, and that's the difference in the judge's perspective.
What are we looking for on beam?
Again, we talked about maintaining control, but yet performing and being aggressive.
Isabella Magnelli here, triple flight series.
Flight, well done. You know, having triple flight also raises the level of your routine. On the switch side there, the judges really look for the position of the hips. Some girls don't come all the way around with that. They can get a small deduction. It's also very difficult. There's that ominous full turn again. You saw her blow a little bit of air before she did that, like.
9.8 is her high. It came in her debut.
Round off. She stuck it.
She'll challenge it.
All right. Let's look at that series again. A triple flight acro. Layout. Very difficult. 1.5. Little leg separation position there. I don't think the judges will hit her too hard, but great routine.
It also depends on their angle. We had a
Correct.
better look to catch it on her there.
In slow-mo.
That's exactly what you want after the 9.575 in the leadoff spot by Hygis. So it's not a fall, but you can count it in your mind as a fall. That's the score you want to drop. Let's go from there, and that's exactly what Magnelli did. Now Madison Hickey on the floor. She is coming off her season high, 9.85. Last time against Georgia.
You know, Coach Weber does not do the choreography. One of her assistant coaches does, but they have very nice floor routines. Lots of personality. Opens with a double pike. Again, you see that was in control before she stepped back.
Caitlin Orrell is the choreographing assistant for the gym bags.
Lead combination that's required. One thing I want to point out to the fans is sometimes, you know, a score will go up and you're like, well, they made all of their tumbling passes and it looked great. But sometimes the judges deduct for the dance requirement in the routine. Just as important.
They want you to dance. They don't want you to move. It's not about getting to the next tumbling pass. It's all about how you do it and making it a show. As Jordan Weber told us, it's all about putting the puzzle together on this apparatus more than anything else.
But one thing the gymnastics community has done as far as the judging, it's not one-sided anymore. It used to be if you were a great dancer, you could get away with no tumbling, and if you were a great tumbler, you could get away with no dancing. But now they require both. Which again makes it a greater compositional piece to have difficulty in both areas. So a little difficulty on that last pass. Let's look at some of her dance that we were talking about, these required combinations. She's a round off, Shushinova. Triple turn, full turn. Little unique there. I like unique, I like different. You know, one of my pet peeves on floor is when you see people just kind of standing I call it camping out in the corner and waving their arms, and the Arkansas team and the Kentucky team does not do that. They keep moving, keep dancing, and they have beautiful routines.
All right, now Callie Nixon, who has a 9.825 as her high on beam. We've seen her power. Let's see her grace.
Stick it.
That's what she says in her head, by the way. That's
Stick
the
it,
thing.
stick it.
Yeah, Tim Garrison told us he could actually hear her saying, stick it, stick it, stick it when she's in the gym sometimes.
Right. She has such long, beautiful legs and long lines. She's a very pretty gymnast to watch. A lot of gymnasts that are really powerful vaulters and tumblers don't do so well on beam. But Callie is an exception to that. She is beautiful up there. For a dismount here, I believe. Backhand spring, 4.5. Stuck. Catch her on a roll on the beam tonight. Let's look at her dismount again. Back handspring, 4.5. Blind landing, stuck. Excellent routine.
Both of these teams are on course for season-high scores. The question for Kentucky is, will it be enough to beat the 5th-ranked team in the country for what would be the 6th consecutive head-to-head time? Now Sarah Schaefer, you see the personality and the teammates all getting in on it with her.
This is one of my favorite routines. With her long legs and her beautiful lines, just an outstanding floor routine. Opens with a double pike, a little short there. But she's got to get right back into it. When you make a mistake, you just cover it and keep going.
Sarah's tumbling here has made SportsCenter top 10 already this season.
So now she's cranking it up here, getting the crowd involved. Dynamics.
She uses that length. The music works. It looks like she's walking into the room and pulling you in.
Exactly. She's got dynamics, presentation, unique dance positions, everything you need on floor.
Almost felt like she was walking down the runway.
As a model?
100%.
Double tuck last pass. A little wobbly there. Really nice routine for Sarah.
Follows an 8.75 and a 7.25, 9.875 and a 9.725 before her.
Let's look at her dance again. Again, just reeling in the crowd and the judges. We have Bailey on the beam now.
(9.875) by Nixon, 9.85. So in a good position to drop the highest balance check of a 9.575.
Flight series here, triple flight.
That's aggressive.
Very aggressive. And that triple flight, not a lot of gymnasts want to do it because it's risky. So, but again, if you make it, it increases your difficulty. Nice loop series, part of the requirement. Off. Duck dismount again for the Cats. The acro series again, triple flight, layout, little balance check there. Nice routine for Bailey.
You know, I thought Tim Garrison made a great point when he talked about Bailey Bunn's poise. Her father is an ER nurse. She wants to work in the ER. That is poise to its fullest, and it really comes on display and helps her out in the gymnastics world.
Well, if you're going to work in the ER, you can't let things get to you.
Yeah. This is Bailey Lovett now, one of the absolute most incredible sky-high tumblers in the SEC.
Let's watch this first pass. Double layout, absolutely gorgeous. As you say, she did not lose her balance before she did the lunge back.
Jordan Weber said she's springy. Lovett said,
absolutely,
like she likes to fly, and this is the next best thing, and look at exactly what she means.
Front full right to a dance pass, that is difficult. It also helps cover if there's any balance checks, but it's definitely difficult to dance out of your tumbling, and that's something I would encourage anybody to work for. It shows you have control. Nice split full combination. Like, well. Finishing with a double tuck. So 2 D passes in her routine. Boom.
That's going to be a huge score.
You know, I would encourage the young gymnasts watching, you know, work on your dance. You know, so many people want to work on their tumbling. But really, the dance makes the difference in the routine if you have quality tumbling.
And it looked so flawless. You know, it's almost like she steps into it, uses the momentum, but there's so much control going on there. This is Raina Worley now.
Gonna see if she can. Raina loves to compete. She's just happy all the time. She's a fun person.
She's the 10th rated all-arounder in the country right now. Kentucky's most reliable, Miss Consistent.
Right, ranked 6th in the SEC in the all-around.
Which says a lot about the SEC, by the way.
And she loves singing the song when she's performing. Difficult combination coming up. Beautiful, very difficult. Singing. Little balance check there. You know, she told me last year that Molly Gorth and Alex, she really looked up to them to give her guidance, and now the younger ones are looking up to her. So I think the Kentucky beam team is going to set a new high tonight. Watch this combination. Front aerial, immediate back handspring back layout. And there was no stop there. A lot of people will stop after that front layout, try to get their balance before the back flip, but she does not do that.
All right, here's Kennedy Hambrick. We said Bailey Lovett was going to have a huge score. She did not disappoint. We saw a 9-9 pop up.
You're going to see another good one here. Huge double tuck. She's going to turn it on for the crowd.
Anytime
I don't know where Coach Weber is recruiting all these long leg gymnasts. But, they have beautiful lines. There again, you see her tumbling into the dance. I think this is something that Jordan is doing with her ladies, and it's very nice.
Yeah, there's incredible buy-in from the Arkansas gymnasts. And Jordan Weber told us she's very intentional when it comes to that. She always explains the why, because then they understand, okay, I have to do this to get to this point. And on floor it helps out because they do so much conditioning, and she explains, I'm doing this so you can look so free and easy in this moment.
And you know, we discussed earlier, they're going to believe her because she's been there.
Oh goodness, yes. And if you don't believe her, just look at her wrist. She has the Olympic rings tattooed.
I think I might do that too, Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last pass here. Double pike. Beautiful routine. I was really looking forward to floor tonight because I know Kentucky and Arkansas have fantastic floor routines, so Arkansas did not disappoint. Let's look at this tumbling pass again. And look at the height on the double pike. I could have run underneath that.
Now here's Josie Angeny.
Josie's two-time All-SEC. 14th in the all-around in the SEC. Let's see if she can anchor this event for them.
Talked about triple flight series. We'll see another one coming up here.
And there it is. Couldn't get better.
What is the separator for these gymnasts, the ones that choose to add in the triple flight series and take that additional step in degree of difficulty?
You mean what extra difficulty do they get for it?
What does it take for you to have a gymnast and say, you know what, you can do that. I trust you adding that level of skill.
If they're solid on their handspring layout, you just say, we got to work it up. We got to work it to the next level, and that's triple flight. And if you can be a team that puts up triple flight series, is just like what we were talking about, the 10-0 starts on vault, it makes your beam team better because you have more difficulty. And they are hitting right on tonight. As I said at the start, Kentucky is better than the 33rd team in the country on this event.
And
I think they're showing it tonight.
Worley had a 9.925. Angeny is going to be up there with that.
Let's watch the triple flight again. Very nice. Side aerial full dismount, stuck.
Kentucky will be able to drop the 9.575 that Igus fought so hard to save in the leadoff spot. Now here is Sophia Carter. She is 9th in the country on floor.
I think Rachel Garrison can breathe a little easier tonight on her beam team. Double tuck, very nice.
Oh my goodness.
See the 2-foot landing, then the step back. That shows the total control, what we were talking about. I love the dance of the Arkansas ladies because it's unusual, it's creative. I'm not bored. You know, I used to tell my girls, it's like, you know, people pay to come see you perform, so perform.
The Arkansas fans are clapping along. This is a different feel. Sophia Carter is a senior. Usually Jordan Weber told us very dramatic, beautiful music. She has gone to more of a salsa feel here, and a la Carmen will toss a rose into the crowd in her final pose. It is her final goodbye in her last year of collegiate gymnastics. She wanted to do something different with her routine.
Well, you know, we talked about getting in character. Something I always did preach is that you have to become what the music is telling you, you know, become that character, tell a story, and she definitely does that. Oh, no. It was such a great routine. Just got her feet underneath her and fell back on that. I know that's got to be disappointing. She had a great routine going.
There's that last pass again.
Just watch the rotation and watch her feet just come down underneath her, didn't get her chest up. A little over rotation.
Now Mackenzie Harmon, excuse me. This was supposed to be Mackenzie Harmon in the exhibition spot.
You know, we talked about this on floor, but I like to see the girls get into character and perform on beam. You know, why do you always have to look at the beam? You know, look at the crowd, look at the judges. Do a performance. Everybody's so serious up there. I love to watch the girls that like to just, they really enjoy beam and they get up there and they just sell the routine. You know, I used to pull the guys out of the audience and make them walk on the beam just to show them how difficult it was. And once people are up there, they have a different appreciation for the event.
Maryland did a video where they had a basketball player come in and try out gymnastics for the first time, put him up on the beam, and they told him to do as they did, and they walked speedily to the other side, and he just stood there with a...
I did that with our football players once. Yeah, they have a better appreciation once they try it. It's not as easy as it looks.
And credit to Coach Brett Nelligan, too. It also, it draws the other athletes into your sport and helps build the support within the athletic department. Gymnastics is a fun one to come watch, and it's cool when athletes support other athletes.
We used to climb the rope in the gym every day, and the baseball coach brought his team in and said, you know, we see you guys do this, could we have our guys do it? And out of 23 players, 2 of them made it up the rope. Oh, tears of joy.
We do have a floor exhibition. This is Savannah Panisi. She did compete for a score against Florida, had a 9.775. That was 2 meets ago, back on January 22nd. In that meet, by the way, the Gymbacks Oh Ho Hum put up a 197.25. Third best in school history. They happen to take the elbow. It's the way gymnastics works.
There again, she tumbled into a dance move, which I just think that is great.
With the fall, Carter with a 9.175, so they will drop that score. It's okay. The worst score outside of that was Madison Hickey's 9.725. Florida puts up a 4.9275, which is lower than expectations for the third best floor team in the country, but still more than admirable. Kentucky has put forward a 4.925, 2/10 its best score on beam this year. The Wildcats, mind me, are still on pace for their best score of the season.
Well, that's huge, and as we mentioned, the Kentucky team is better on beam than they've shown, and so hopefully this is their breakout meet for them. Right now, everybody's just trying to get scores up for postseason.
Razorback up is what it says on that mask stick as Panizzi remasks here through 3 rotations. Boy, we still have a tight one here in Lexington. Friday Night Heights back in Lexington. We walked away early on you. We do have a second floor exhibition for Arkansas. It was unlisted on the score sheets that we were given, but more gymnastics.
Well, right now, these coaches are just trying to figure out their lineups. As we say, we're moving towards the back end of the season where you got to figure your team out, who are going to be your consistent competitors, kids that are trying to get in the lineup, maybe with just one skill, keeping them out. So, good chance to see your kids. The thing about the SEC, there's no rest. There's no cupcake meets. So, every meet you have, whether home or away, are tough. These are the top teams in the country, and you just can't lay back on any of these meets.
Oh, you talk about the job that Jordan Weber has done with the Gymbacks right now. They are on pace to set another season high today. 197.25 is their previous season high. They would only need a 49.325 on balance beam to do that. That is below their season high this year. They are the 3rd best team in the country on balance beam.
Well,
it's not that Arkansas was bad. They were a good team. They've been to the NCAA championship several times in the last 20 years, decade or so, but very quickly, Jordan Weber has made them elite.
So, for news, the SEC championships this year has been moved to Huntsville, Alabama on March the 20th. The site was adjusted due to COVID. We hope to see everybody there that can be there due to social distancing, but again, SEC championships moved to Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Center March 20th.
It's an old venue, newly renovated. Should be nice. They renovated the building in 2010, so if you have a chance to get down to the Von Braun Center and visit the building once hosting the American Bowling Congress, do feel free to do so as we take a look at what comes your way next week in collegiate gymnastics. We have 1 versus 2 tonight. Florida and LSU are competing now. Kentucky gets Florida next, and then LSU and Alabama. Look at that top 6 matchup.
I think 2 versus 6. That should be a fantastic meet. And then we have Missouri, Arkansas coming up the same weekend. So
Minnesota will be on national television as well. They are trying to push the envelope in the Big Ten. Michigan is always the dean, but Minnesota trying to mix things up. Iowa's had a good season in the Big Ten as well.
Right, and then 2 West Coast teams, UCLA and Utah, should burn it up out there. 2 longtime rivals.
The 5th-ranked Arkansas Gymbacks lead through 3 rotations. Leah Little, gymnastics is tough. Kentucky is on pace for its season-high score. It puts forward its best beam routine of the year, and its deficit grows after 3 rotations.
Well, it's SEC, Joel, and like we said, everybody's getting ready for the postseason, so putting forward their best routines, trying to clean up everything, polish.
Again, gymnastics is tough. As Leah said, it's the SEC. So how does Kentucky look at this? It says, all right, we're down by a little bit more than a 1/10. We've got our best apparatus coming up next. Kentucky is 6th in the country in floor. We got this, right? No. Arkansas is also 3rd on beam, so buckle up here as we come down the home stretch.
That's right. Well, we said in the beginning it was going to be a great competitive meet tonight, and it's turned into that. 0.2 of a point between the 2 teams, and they both looking very good tonight.
Take a look at the all-around scores. If you're not competing all-around, you're not one of the cool kids tonight. There are 5 of them. Kennedy Hambrick put up a career-high 9.95 on floor. She leads the way, but then it is all Kentucky Wildcats, and Josie Anthony's not far off.
Well, Kentucky's got a very good floor team, so being home on the last event on floor gives them a bit of advantage. I think Arkansas knows they have to hit beam. in order to come away a winner here. So it's going to be routine for routine down at this last event here.
Arkansas can put forward a season best score. It does not need the 49.35 on beam that would equal its season high. It can come in under that and still match its 197.25 season best score that it put up against Florida. That was third best in school history. Arkansas's record is a 197.3. That was from 2018. That is well within reach.
Well, another thing I might mention, and Coach Garrison talked about this the other day, another thing these teams are fighting for is to be in the last rotation at SECs. There's an afternoon session and there's an evening session. So if you're in the morning session, you have to get up earlier, you have to get prepared and be at the gym earlier, and it's kind of been a unspoken that the judges kind of keep scores down in the first round because they know the better teams are coming in the second round.
Yeah.
So these teams are fighting for the top 4 in the SEC so they can compete in the night session.
Amanda Elswick is one of the best vaulters in the country, put forward a 9.8 today. She is here on beam in the leadoff chair.
Little balance error in the beginning there. Not a huge mistake, but nevertheless a deduction. Again, what the judges look for in those, people ask, you know, well, what's a 1/10 deduction or a 5/10 deduction, or how do you base that? And like we talked about, you know, you need to show control. And see right there, she did not have control of that skill, but she didn't fall, but she's going to get deducted for the balance error.
Tim Garrison was interesting this week too, the Kentucky coach. He said you're not allowed to deduct quarter tenths, but they do. They add them up in their mind, and it eventually adds up to deductible points. Stuck landing there for Elswick.
Nice stuck dismount. Well, you know, they have an ambiguous area called artistry.
Right.
So, you know, what you think's artistry, I may think is not. And so they kind of have this open category where they can divvy things around a little bit. But the judges are well trained, they're very professional, and they know what to look for.
Here is Bailey Bunn now, the freshman competing all around and in the leadoff chair again. This is the third time we've seen her leading off an event. Tim Garrison said last year, who's going to replace Molly Korth, the 11-time All-American? And he didn't know Bailey Bunn was going to be an all-arounder at that point, and it's maybe unfair to say that she is that person, but she could be.
Double pike, open, controlled landing. Yeah, when I first saw her in the gym, they said they really had high expectations for her this year. At that point, all-around was not one of them. They were just training, and then all of a sudden, boom, here she is. And not just in the all-around, but making impact, scoring in the 39s. Front pass.
Strong toes to hold that landing. Floor is by score, Bailey Bunn's best event. She is 55th in the country on floor. The 37th best all-arounder. This is her third time competing all around.
And she's just going to get better as she gets more experience. She's a freshman. Now that was a controlled pass. Coaches and teammates say she's the funniest guy on the team. Let's look at this pass again. The double pike, huge, controlled landing. You see her personality coming out. Whisper quiet.
Now Bailey Lovett on beam. We drew your attention to her elbow brace when she was on bars. First, we've got a candle mount here. That is the only time she will touch the beam during this routine. They call it a Bluetooth routine. It is hands-free. Because of the elbow, she takes it out of the equation.
Again, just beautiful body lines. You can tell she's been a dancer. On these leaps now, the judges look for a full split, a full 180, and they can be deducted if they're not. Hers were beautiful. Front aerial, the balance check there. She repeated the skill because it's a requirement. Front aerial back layout, she will get deducted for that first split. I think the girls with the long legs are just beautiful on beam, and Arkansas's got a whole corral of those.
And they're not particularly tall. I mean,
Right.
Lovett is 5'2".
Right. Well, they're in great shape. They look good. Watch this mount. Very unusual.
How hard is that to hang on to?
It's not hanging on, it's throwing yourself backward and not knowing whether your head's gonna hit the beam.
Psychology there.
Once you get to the handstand, that's not hard. It's the
It's the trust, not the strength. This is Anna Higas. New this year in the floor lineup. This is a 2-pass routine as well, so she builds in her requirements so that she doesn't have to do a third.
Right. Very nice.
How do you feel about 2 passes, Leah, as opposed to the traditional 3?
Well, I think it depends on the difficulty you put in for the missing third pass. I know we talked with Jordan about that. If you have enough dance difficulty, switch side to the Popa. Double pike, a little under rotated there. Nice ending.
The 2-pass thing is interesting. I was talking to Olivia Karras, the Big Ten champion, not that long ago, and I said, hey, would you do a 2-pass routine? She said, absolutely. But it puts a little bit more pressure on converting in those situations and then adding what you see here.
Double tuck. Get a little short on that.
Your margin for error is just a little bit smaller when you only do it twice. As we get Maggie O'Hara, speaking of Michigan, the transfer from the Wolverines.
Coach Weaver said she has blossomed this year. Having to sit a year, that's tough. Says she's fit right in with this group. Side air back handspring combination, very well done.
She used to do that with a 1.5 twist. Changed it to that this year, just playing a little bit more on a safety side.
That was a ring jump. It's very difficult. We talked about this last year. You know, it's blind because in order to get credit, your head has to go all the way back and touch your foot. Therefore, you can't see your landing. So it gets awarded that high bonus. A little personality coming out there. Nice routine. I think she's happy with it. Got to get the mask.
I give them credit. Arkansas has done a really good job. That stick, it says Razorback it up on it. It actually began as a social distancing stick. It is 6 feet long, and it was, hey, make sure you stay this far apart from each other. And Jordan Weber, to her credit, really wanted to install and instill in her team a mentality of we're going to compete safely, and we're going to do it in a way that demonstrates how you should do it at home as well. They want to be kind of a model for the nation and a model for Arkansas and all of the Razorback fans to say, hey, listen, we're going to compete, but we're going to do it this way, and you should too.
That's right.
And then they didn't want to touch the masks.
Set the example.
So they had this stick, let's put the masks on the stick, and it kind of evolved from there.
Well, you know, LSU has a stick crown, so Arkansas has a mask stick, so.
I've seen a lot of stick Gatorade, or Gatorade cup, mask Gatorade cups. That's been one of the, you hold it in there and you reach it out to your teammates. The stick is a more efficient way of doing it.
Interesting story here. McKenna Clark coming up is a transfer from Arkansas.
She hails from my favorite city currently.
Yes.
She's an Indianapolis native.
She's an Indiana girl, and she just really wanted to be closer to home. It wasn't really anything else but that.
We've talked a lot about Jordan Weber's pedigree. How about her coach's pedigree as well? J.C. Phelps Gymnastics is in Greenfield, Indiana, just east of Indianapolis. So
I watched J.C. grow up here in the Cincinnati area compete. But we have a big lull here for some reason. Our judges are trying to figure something out. And, you know, I really want to shout out the officials. These ladies spend almost a lifetime learning to judge gymnastics. You know, you start at the very, very bottom, and it takes many, many years to get to this level and elite level gymnastics as a judge. They asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, no thanks. I mean, but they study constantly. They take their stuff on the road with them. They have these workshops and sessions. And then just when you know everything, they change the rules again. So then you have to start over. So these ladies and guys don't get enough credit for the time they put in to be an official. So I'd be the last person to criticize.
The sheer amount of things you have to look for in the course of on floor 90 seconds.
I mean, the book is 2 inches thick, and there's just, I was telling my husband, I said, you know, average Joe could never even learn how the sport is scored or judged. It's extremely difficult.
Average Joel has no idea. This is Haley Davis on floor, or excuse me, it's McKenna Clark on floor.
A little bit short on that landing. McKenna has very nice lines as well.
You know, she had to sit out a year with her
Right.
transferring enter the SEC.
Right.
So a whole year without competing just to get to this moment.
And I know she is ready to compete this year and really wants to make an impact on this team. Front layout full, nice pass. Good job for McKenna. All right, let's watch her last pass again. There's a lot of front tumbling in a routine. 1.5. That's very unique. You know, if you look at some of these athletes, you always want to look, especially the ones at the higher level, they do different, unique, unusual type things in their routines, and that sets them apart. All right, so the swinging of the arms like that, I'm trying to explain to the fans what these balance checks are. So if you're really flailing your arms to try to stay on, the judges are going to hit that harder than just a little body movement. There's another one on our flight series.
And it slightly opens the door a little
Sure
bit
does.
for
It
Kentucky.
sure does.
Now, Elswick put up a 9.8. There's nothing major here that's going to give Kentucky a huge opening.
And like we talked about, at this level and at this point in the season, it's the 1/10 mistakes. that can cost you a championship. I've seen a national championship lost on a 1/10 of a point.
Tim Garrison told us again, it's the quarter tenths that literally
Yeah.
don't exist,
Right.
but that will add up in judges' minds.
Absolutely. Nice dismount. It's a nice routine. I'm afraid the few balance checks that she made throughout the routine are going to cost her.
Again, though, it's 6
Let's go
up,
back and
5
look at
count,
this.
so they can drop the score.
Okay, legs weren't quite around on that split. That caused her to lean back and lose her balance. Here's a dismount again, side aerial. You can see she was crooked on that when she took off the beam. That'll also be a deduction. We have Josie Angeny on floor again. She's a performer. Might be her favorite event.
This is Haley Davis. Angeny
Oh, I'm
next.
sorry.
It's okay.
Made a mistake.
Me too.
Nice double back. What happened?
Talked about Bailey Bunn being a freshman in the lineup.
Now that is a beautiful, sorry to interrupt Joel,
No,
but
you're
I
good.
just had to comment on that dance combination. I mean, her legs were to full split all the way around. That's the way it needs to be done.
180
Nice
is the goal.
front lady.
There's such a good youth movement on this Kentucky team, as much as we've talked about the veterans. And that's how you build a roster. You need young ones because it comes in waves.
Right.
McKenna Clark had a 9.8.
And you know, when you have the young ones that can come in and beat out an upperclassman for a spot in the lineup, that just makes everybody work harder. Beautiful landing on that. I think she's gonna come away with a nice score here. Boom. That was Haley.
That was good.
Let's watch this dance combo again. Look at this split. Beautiful. All the way around. Complete 180. That's the way it should be done.
And it was a slower start score-wise for Kentucky, a 9.775 and a 9.475 by Bunn and Higgins. So that was a much-needed bounce after a Clark's 9.8 to continue to rewrite the ship as we look at Sophia Carter here on beam.
Sophia is a beautiful gymnast, and she picked one of my favorite songs here, so I think this fits her perfectly.
She is the school record holder on this apparatus, a
There's the ring
9.975.
jump, beautifully done, head all the way back to the foot. Just look at her hands, how expressive she is. Full extension on everything. Whoa, there's another one of those balance. Gym backs are having a little struggle with the balance checks today, but they're staying on.
She's the toe point queen.
Okay, that little pause between the two is going to probably cost her a connection. So the judges have a choice there. They can take the deduction for not connecting the series and she loses the bonus, or they can just deduct for the balance error.
Which one do you do?
I'm afraid on that one I'd have to take the connection.
Well, she sticks the landing for you, Leah.
She's a beautiful gymnast. Let's look at this ring jump again and show you what I was talking about the head being all the way back to the foot. She cannot see the beam on the landing. It's totally blind. That is the way it should be done. Here's the dismount, side aerial full, boom, stuck. Now, regardless of what they flash, this is Josie.
This is Josie Angeny in the penultimate spot here on floor.
Smiling already. She's a happy girl. Opening pass, double pike. Perfect landing on that.
Angeny's had a good night, over 9.8 on 2 of her 3 apparatuses, went over 9.9 on the bars. Josie was second all around coming into the 4th rotation, and that's a really nice sequence from her.
I think you're really going to see her move up in rankings over time. Just every year she gets more competitive experience, and she's improved a lot this year. Tuck finish. Excited about that performance.
Kentucky's high this year is a 1964. They're in a really good spot to get there tonight.
Well, the 197 is what all the teams and coaches are pushing for. You got to get in that 197 range to be competitive in the top 10, and both of these teams are capable. We'll see how the final score shakes out tonight.
Now that 167.525 before Kennedy Hambrick mounts the beam here, that is not reflective. They have not inputted all of the scores in the arena even. It still says 167 in the arena for Arkansas, but they are encroaching on what could be a school record tonight.
Very nice mount, unusual. Straddle back over the beam. Saying a little prayer there before she starts.
First time in the anchor spot this year, or in her career as a junior.
Beautiful flight series as far as she had amplitude, little, again, balance error on the landing. Switch leap, switch half. The half is a D. I would give her credit for that. That's a very difficult skill because you have to get all the way around. Straddle 3/4.
Just those balance checks and see how they build. Right. We don't have full scores yet for Arkansas.
And you know, we discussed it. I mean, these kids at this level are scoring 9.8s, 9.9s, so they're looking to add a 10th or 2 to their routine to be perfect, and you just can't keep affording those 10th here, 10th there. Over the course of 24 routines, it's going to build on your team score.
And that will count as a stick for Hambrick, but certainly chest down.
Let's look at the dismount again for Hambrick. Gainer full. And actually, that's one of the better gainer fulls I've seen as far as flight and height off the beam, but she just dropped her chest there on the landing and couldn't get it back up.
So here's Raina Worley, 6th in the country on floor. That's who you want in your anchor spot. How does Kentucky close tonight?
Raina needs to close big in order for the Cats to have a chance. Full in, stuck. She's just added that. And that makes her pretty happy when she sticks it.
Well, I'll tell you this much, Leah, with a 196.525, that is a season high for Kentucky. So Raina Worley could walk off the floor right now, and Kentucky will have put forward their best score of the year.
Well, maybe she'll get a 10.
She's playing with house money.
Second pass here. Run full front layout. Raina is a tiny little thing, and so, you know, when you're short like that, she can have the amplitude, but because she doesn't have those long legs and isn't tall, she doesn't look like she's off the floor like those girls do, but she's pretty high for her. All right, finish strong here with her last pass. Double tuck, perfect. All right, see why she's 6th in the country right there.
She is the only constant from Kentucky's floor lineup a season ago, and that is all you can ask for from her in this anchor spot.
This is the full in, opening pass, little leg separation, so I don't think we'll get the 10. And last pass, double tuck. Very nice. Great routine for Raina.
She has been almost perfect before. A 9.95 is her career high.
Well, we'll see if the Jim Backs can close it here. Don't have a close ending.
Here is Guillaume Fagna.
Oh, there we go again.
This is an exhibition routine for Arkansas. As the scores continue to slowly come in, you saw O'Hara's 9.75 pop up. We still have an incomplete picture of what Arkansas will look like here on beam.
I think we have some of that ice that's outside on the beam there.
Yeah, Arkansas is not used to snow. It gets that coming north in the SEC. Nice front toss.
Jim Backs still getting some good scores on the beam. We'll see, I would like to see the legs up on that skill. Sometimes the judges are a little more lenient during regular season, and you'll really see them tighten up those scores as they get to the postseason, trying to really separate the teams at the top.
Megan Monfredi will do an exhibition on floor for the Wildcats. Competed in lineup a couple of times last season. She is a walk-on. And as Tim Garrison has told us many times, he is more than happy putting walk-ons in the lineup, as you talked about with freshmen pushing the envelope. When walk-ons compete, it pushes the envelope for everyone else, and Megan has been awesome.
I tell you, I've had walk-ons come on our team for me and wound up getting scholarships because they made such a contribution. So never doubt the power of a walk-on. Megan's proof of that. Wow. Front into a double duck. Nice opening. It's a combination pass with bonus. It's a triple leap series. Give her a little connection bonus.
I tell you, they certainly know how to build suspense here at Memorial Coliseum. They do post the scores after each apparatus or each event before the next gymnast goes, but of course we've turned our attention to floor, so they haven't inputted them into the system. No one in the arena knows what Arkansas's score is.
I know, we're at least two routines behind, perfectly stuck. Boy, Coach Garrison's going to be happy with this routine. Now he's in a real dilemma.
What does he do? Because his team put up well, we don't know we haven't put up Worley's score yet.
Well, we're just going to have gym wars next week.
There's the cat crawl to end for Monfredi.
Well, that was excellent. That's one of the better routines I've seen her do, and I know everybody is going to be thrilled with that.
This one thing I know for sure. Kentucky has a season-high score.
All right.
What it is, I don't know. And if they won, I don't know. But we will tell you, we think, next from Lexington, top 15 matchup in the SEC, and it comes down to the wire. Leah, you've been to more gymnastics meets than I have. I've been to enough over the last 5 years. I've never seen this. We have gotten to the end, and we do not officially in the arena know who the winner is. They have not, I mean, like if we had tabulated as we were going, sure, but they haven't put it up and they haven't fully added in the numbers. So,
well, what you have going on is it is so close. I'm sure coaches have put inquiries into the judges. You can see them over there huddling. That means they're evaluating what the coaches have put in, and like I said, it's a very close meet. A tenth or two can make a difference. So if the judges miss something, which they sometimes do, then they'll reward that back. If they feel they were correct, then they won't change the score. So sometimes you wait to get that in.
197.25 is the season high for Arkansas this year. Kentucky 196.4. We know Kentucky has surpassed that. And it will be a 196.525 for Jordan Weber's Arkansas gym backs. That's actually below their season average. For Kentucky, it's a 196.95, a season best for Tim Garrison's Wildcats. They win for the
knocked off the
6th
fifth-ranked
consecutive
team in the
time
country.
over Arkansas. 6 straight wins over the Jim Backs, and Leah, you're right. They beat the number 5 team in the country tonight.
Well, this is a huge confidence booster for the Cats. Definitely going to help them. Like we said, we're into that crunch part of the season now, and this is definitely going to be a huge emotional boost for the Jim Cats.
How about that? A 196.95. They win over the number 5 ranked team in the country. A season best, and Kentucky was awesome.
They had a fantastic night, and I'll say this, don't count the Razorbacks out. They are a great team. You're going to see more of them the rest of the season, but great win at home for Kentucky tonight. Eliminated a lot of those things that were costing them those extra little points along the way, so I think they figured it out.
What's funny is that Tim Garrison told us this week that his team has been performing very well. However, 196s, they're not bad. But 15th in the country isn't going to do for them what they want it to do.
Right.
Tonight they got a 196.95. They couldn't have been any closer to the 197 he was seeking.
Just one of those balance bobbles we talked about. So this is great. And it's just going to be exciting the second half of the gymnastics season in the SEC.
Well, Leah, that will do it for us here from Memorial Coliseum. It's a night that started phenomenally for both these teams. The 5th-ranked Jim Backs do wind up putting forth a fine performance, but Kentucky is the score. For Leah Little and the rest of our crew, my name is Joel Gannett. Thanks for watching Friday Night Heights in Kentucky.